Yeni bir gün. Yeni bir bölüm daha. Let's go. Görüyoruz.
The door is closed.
Door is closed. Evet. Aha. Burası açılmış belli ki ha. Mavimiz de orada. Günaydın reis.
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them. I completely
Onlar
forgot.
değil mi?
Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One less thread less to worry about. And one big problem to replace it. I mean,
İşte ya.
ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the union. These men here, men who drink beer for breakfast, there's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for said policing. I think it's them. One more
Hadi
thing
hadi
before we
başlayalım.
do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
Güzel bir gücünü kanıtlama hareketi. Bilerek onlardan önce farklı bir şeye odaklanmak.
But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Okey. Ablamıza geri verelim şeyimizi.
Just a moment. And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too. The manager was vague about it. To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
You hear that? Someone's missing. There could be foul play afoot.
Bob bayılırız kayıplara.
Now skip the foreplay. Time to dive into the dark alleys. Start shaking down the usual suspects. You know, legwork. Doing some good will alleviate the hangover. At least you're of use to someone.
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about. Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect.
Bir böcek türü.
But they should have
Peki.
returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the waterlock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday.
The waterlock, that was broken. Could this be it?
Oh,
Geri kim?
sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's
Okay.
as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
Okey.
Oh my. What happened to the waterlock? Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
Önemli
You're
ne demek?
welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Tabii ki tabii ki.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Yes,
Peki.
some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
Sevdim bunu, tamam.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
Tabii ki de
you're such a
söyleyeceğiz.
dear.
Tabii ki de.
Thank you, sweetie. I
Ha,
hope
şurası
you're
değil.
able to pawn that old trinket. Oh, thank you, dear. I confess I am glad to see it again.
Ne demek
Even the
efendim?
lieutenant seems happy with this turn of events.
Now, what else, sweetie?
Soralım bakalım
Oh,
neymiş?
A zoologist.
Zoologist.
Cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
Kripto ne demek peki?
Pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
Beni
That's,
etkilese
one
zaten.
opinion, yes. And people are entitled
Sözde.
to their opinions.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
The quality of research at Revacholian universities has been on the decline, but you doubt there was ever a time when cryptozoology was embraced by the academic elite. She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Şimdi kim? Bu moral kim?
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin. Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work.
Kendisini
Always a
asmış.
challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Nasıl birini arıyorum?
Well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a
Beyaz
bit
saçlı.
uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds. You know, just we'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn.
16. yılı.
Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow. By a
Sanırsınız.
dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
Here we are.
I
Peki.
hope I've been useful.
Evet. Biraz böcekten bahset
It's
bize.
fascinating, but I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Ver hızlıca ver.
It's a phasmid, technically, but
Pazmit.
Ah yes, Phasmatodea, a diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, here comes the interesting.
Oh yeah.
where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian, hence its
Biraz
name
hızlı
being
geçeyim buraları.
Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us officers.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you.
Allah Allah. Peki.
There's a hint of defensiveness to her retort, but also confidence.
Peki.
It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all. Well,
peki burada
some
olduğunu...
teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with... of course, most Phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insul Indian Phasmid Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Değerli
Oh,
mi?
I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Okay.
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years.
Tamam, özel yapan ne?
I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Tamam. Kayıt alıp şunu deneyelim bakalım.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Allah Allah, bak 2 seferdir hata raporu veriyor, anlamadım.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work.
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Cryptids, cryptids. Let's hear about all. Ooh, tough choice there.
En
The
tehlikeli.
gnome of Jeroma.
Jeroma.
Oh,
Güzel
it
evet.
is. None of his victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue. It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a ungainly little thing. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming...
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself.
Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
I understand your skepticism, but that's what happens with things that are rare and stand out.
Ben bunu sonra tekrardan şey yapalım daha fazla.
And they are least likely to be found again.
Sormayalım. Peki.
Of course, dear.
Tamam, şimdilik bu kadar. Teşekkür ederiz. Tamam, buraya sonrasında gelelim. Şu arkadaki çöp kutusunu bir karıştıralım. Belki şey de yapabiliriz. Araştırabiliriz belki. Hanımefendi orada. Bunu bir açalım bakalım.
This trash container is locked. The slide with a well-oiled crack. The lock pops open. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid.
Kötü olduk.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Evet. Karton kutuların altına
You
bakıyorum.
see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
Ceset
The
kokusu
victim's
ha?
clothes? Cadaver in odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have...
Something slimy catches your eye.
Yapışkan bir şey gözüne takılıyor. Uzanacağım.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping
Iltihap
with pus.
This is a military type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario.
Evet, askeri tipli giysi bulduk.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force. Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's...
Ne yaptığını sorsan.
About kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. I'm not
biraz.
guessing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
Wow, kendi evraklarımız mıymış gerçekten?
Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
Yani büyük ihtimal
Evet.
poligon.
His eyes express a rare condolence.
Sonra devam
Lucky
ediyor.
we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes. It would
Okay.
also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your
Peki.
inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. Only
İntikamı.
in its social sensibility. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Kapat bakalım reis.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your copo type.
Ne dedi ki kuzu takip etmiş? Teşekkür ederim. Hoş geldin. Ben doğru okudum değil mi onu ya? Çok fazla şey oynadık. Evet, doğru okumuş. Ve artık kişisel tipolojini biliyoruz. Allah, yanlış şeye tıkladım. Hak ettim ne diyecek. Gerçekten kayıt almadım ya.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. Murder was...
Merhabalar.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't.
Şimdi indirip şunu bir deneyebiliyor muyuz artık?
There
Bakalım
he
bir.
still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Dayanıklılıkla bakalım, belki dayanıklılık şeyimiz vardır. Kıyafetimiz var mı bununla ilgili? Tamam, bunları karıştıracağız. Hemen oraya bakalım. Böyle bir şey yok zaten, değil mi? Hadi deneyelim şunu ya.
There he still is, looking. You crack open the ammonia ampoule.
%28'de tek attım, evet.
The odor of death is still stronger. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty.
Gerçekten
They
hep
do
böyle mi?
after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
The man before you
Evet.
is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
Peki. Şimdi bu
The
atları
material
inceleyelim.
appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
Yani tipinden belli zaten.
Indeed.
Evet.
Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
Sabot.
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
Epey kaliteli bir şey. Peki.
Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. It would be odd if they didn't. We
Yani
should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know. No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirt we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics.
Nice. That makes sense.
mantığımız mantıklı dedi.
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmerties and the like. These ones still
Çamaşırlar hala üstünde.
Fucking talking about underpants.
Ya Culu.
Clearly, Kuno would like to interject something here, but there's not enough for him to hold on to.
Okey.
It
Malzeme
is.
böyle çok.
It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics. For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
Oo, okey.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 rial, unadjusted for rank.
Not too much, yes. It's a sorry situation, I agree.
Ne hoş bilirim ha.
That's
Bu adam
for us
nasıl
to
bundan
find out.
anlamış?
My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company, but that's just hearsay.
Yani bir göre ön rapor.
Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you...
He's
Ne
not
yapmışız ya?
actually sure of that. He's just being tactful.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Botu
A
tıklat.
small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
Peki.
The pry bar in your hand is itching for some action.
Kırılabilirmiş gibi bir
Anything
ses.
but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them, or like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps.
Neyi
The
hatırladık?
trees were made of porcelain. This is what their cross-sections would look like.
Parmağımı
The
çizgilerde
smooth,
gezdiriyor.
glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice.
Şey
The
fark ettim.
whorls are in the shape of a letter and number combination: E50, 100, 1000.
Good. Can you read it to me?
X5415 6745 678222. Let's lie.
Yalan mı söyleyelim? Allah Allah. Oyunculuk ne yapıyorsun? Allah Allah. Kim abimize niye yalan
We have a
söyleyelim
date and
ya?
a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
30
This
çıkartalım.
feels dangerous. Are you sure? The stench fills your nostrils as you push downward, an ominous creaking.
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Ha.
Brutal! What's wrong with you, asshole? Why is he letting go,
I don't know, baby. I don't know why he's such a...
Officer, if I may ask, what were you trying to achieve by putting on the deceased foot?
Haklısın. Adamın
The
asıldığını hiç...
cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched pink and blue.
Evet.
The
Kayışa bakalım.
hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under six-rotor airships.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them. The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
Peki. Yani hava yollarıyla arar. Limandaki liman işini yaptın ama buradaki... Evet, şimdi 3 tane sorumuz var.
I'm still
Limandakiler mi?
approaching this as a lynching, yes. Motivated by the ongoing strike. You?
No, you feel like it was something else. But what?
Okey, içimize güveniyoruz o zaman.
Yes, it often is. This bell worries me. I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed.
Evet, adamı aşağı indirmek için. Peki
A
nasıl
noose is
çıkardılar?
one
Evet.
of those things that's easier to use one way around. That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Peki.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver
Evet.
hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos. An
Şimdi
intricate web
dövmeler.
of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. His corpse is marked by stars. Alcohol and heartbreak.
Evet. Bu gece Bu bir mikroelektronik sistem mi? Bu ulusal
Of no
desem
nation
mi?
that I know of. If anything, it reminds me of religious illumination, last or penultimate century. Men who live harsh lives often turn to innocentic worship. But which one? I see no trace of a humanoid figure.
Evet, kaçırdığımız bir şey var.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
Neymiş bu böyle?
A Trigat Sunshine, Mini.
Trigot Sunshine Mini.
Trigat is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices, primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
Bir
This is the
bakalım.
first time he openly acknowledges the kid's existence.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by
Shrill
the breaking
flash.
of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
Oğlum sen ne güzel bir çizim şeyisin. Bu neymiş böyle?
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it? It contains insight to the victim's person.
Kurbanın
By his
dövmeleri
word,
için.
I'd say this was a man of
Peki.
physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Ben alabilir miyim onu?
Just don't lose it.
Evet, hemen bir sigara paketi büyük üstünde.
The
Okey.
glassy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming
Yes.
with opportunistic organisms.
Gözlerinin
His
içine bak.
eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Evet. Rüyanda konuştun. Söyle bana, kimsin sen öyle adam?
I'm gone.
Öldüm. Haydi bakalım. Bu sefer de asılmış adamla konuşuyoruz. Wow. Öldüm. Nereye gittin? Düşüp gittiğini biliyorum ama sen kimsin?
Look at me.
Şimdi busun ama hayattayken kimdin?
A motherfucker and a killer.
Katilmiş kendileri ha?
Go ahead, Cobbo.
Nereye gittin?
Into the wild pale yonder.
Neresi?
In the past. Way out in the west.
Neler oluyor?
What do you mean?
Seninle
It's the
konuşuyorum.
power of your...
Kulaklarının arasından siyah bir köpük çıkmaya başlıyor.
Imagination.
Hayal gücü.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
Rahat sus be.
Loves those. Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Başka sormak istediğin soru var mı? Bir dakika, çünkü tam bir bölüm. Bunlara bak hele. Başka sormak istediğin soru var mı? Üstüme soru yağdır.
Coming right up, copperoonie Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
İşler şimdi kızışıyor. Seni kim öldürdü?
Love did me in, brother Cobbo. It was love all along.
Heck no. You're no Rooney. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
Evet, rüyamızda da Harry
You
demişti
might
değil
be
mi?
onto something there.
Şimdi neden korkunç bir şey oldu?
Because you have.
Sen bana
Sure
sorabilir
enough,
misin?
I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this? Looking at my face, motionless, looking into my eyes, standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Something is on its way.
Şehrin fısıltısı.
It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
Do I remind you of someone?
Ben sana
A
birini
child
hatırlatıyorum.
born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
You sure I got out of that one? Coppellini. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Öğrenmem gereken bir şey var
Of
cesetten.
course.
Okey,
Come
burası şey.
back later, Coppo. Amuse
Bizim kısa
yourself
bir adım
with
geri
my...
çekil. Evet.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration?
Pembe yerler. Pembe oluyor birkaç saat sonra. Okay.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
Suratı ve elleri pembe.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think? Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging. There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first. I
Dayak
do.
yemiş ama.
Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal like.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He
Evet.
slowly rotates before you,
İşi
Are you
nasıl
sure
diyoruz
we
ha?
finish the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and
Okey ya, hadi indirelim.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
he doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and hard.
İki
The
yetenek,
cadaver is
teşekkür
a good
ederiz.
1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
Dalı kesebiliriz. Bir başkası peki yapabilir bunu.
Someone else? You mean like the police? Someone like a
başka
paid
bir-
garbage man or a cleaning crew? I have bad news for you. That is a detective. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down, fast.
Dolu testereyle kesebilirim.
Climb up there and saw the branch? There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees. I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case. It seems like a dangerous route to go down.
Deneyeceğim. Tek tek şey yapıyorum.
But what other options? The corpse twists on the belt, like chicken on a skewer.
Belki...
Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the belt.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
Ya bir
The
susun,
lieutenant
bir
is
susun.
undecided. On one hand, he wants to shoot some gun. On the other, it's an awfully stupid idea.
Hemen at
Hayırlı
gitsin
olsun,
ya. Kafası patlayabilir mi?
Take it! Take the shot!
Yeah, take the shot. Kuno wants some of that shit.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks. That's a Kiel A9090 Armistice, mass-produced muzzle loader, ascetic, frugal, one of the most common firearms in the world. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as
God damn it.
he feels bad about it. About his eyes mostly. Just having bad eyesight. Probably from a young age. Whatever you do not console him.
Fucking idiot! Mukabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't break anything, and the victim remains uncompromised. Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes. on
Nasıl?
us. I didn't do us any favors with that.
Ya ne yaparsan yap teselli etme
I have
demişti
to
değil mi?
say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
Ben denesem.
Bad as it is, us shooting firearms like punks.
Aha.
Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
They only have one.
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banani poika. Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth.
The
Önce bir
cold
ağırlık.
piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth.
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss. Or what? You gonna fuck me? You wanna fuck me, pig? Is that what this is about?
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves. becoming entirely two-dimensional. The slow movement of the branch in the wind and your shoulders directing the gun sync up. Dancing.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
Kırmızı. El göz koordinasyonu ha. Kıyafetlerimizi şey yapabilsek. Şunu bir sustursak mı acaba? Bir deneyelim.
Set me free!
You feel as though it would be dangerous to set this creature.
Don't.
Do it!
Hayır lan.
Intense shit, copper.
Could waved his gun. It wasn't intense, it was pathetic.
Haydi geldi. Bir de -1 geldi bundan. Ya denedim gitti ya. Ulan adamı vurduk.
A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry, I knew it! What a mulko!
The armistice is sufficiently precise, officer. Especially at...
It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot. It's your pig hands.
Tamam beceremedik.
Pigs don't have hands, they have like...
Allah aşkına susun, çıldırtacaksınız bizi ya.
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
That's preposterous! What are you, a fucking earl?
We still need to get him down somehow. The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools and the men. If they put him up there, they can take him down too.
İşe
To ask the
tehlike.
suspect for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Everard Clare? Very much, yes. Which is why I would have preferred us to handle this ourselves. Clearly we can't.
Suck my dick, bitches!
He's a dangerous and corrupt man, and we cannot predict what he will want from us in
Okay.
return.
Yeah? Don't go being someone else's bitches. You're Kuno's bitches.
From the gate, by negotiating or fighting. Or we can try the secret route we found, where your cloak is. It looked doable.
To the gates. Let's negotiate.
Retoriğimiz konuşup anlaşalım diyor. Kesin konuşmayı deneyeceğim de. O zaman neymiş bu?
The 15th Indo tribe.
15. İndo kavim. Evet, düşüncemiz tamamlandı.
Because there was. The 15th Indo tribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forberg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines.
Hiç okumasını beklemiyorum. Durdurulup şey yapılabilir. Evet. Tıklanan her yeşil daire için artı 10 sent mi? Wow. O neymiş lan öyle? Vergi bulunmaz ofisi neymiş? Geçici araştırma. Bu eksi 2 empati veriyormuş. 3 saat 10 dakika. Sosyoekonomi. Tamam, görsel analiz için kıyafetimiz var mı? Ne alakaysa ama bir şeyler vardır. Bir şey düşünelim ama ya. Empati. Empatiye verdim. Evet. Bir de beceri puanımız var. Şu el göz koordinasyonuna versek mi gerçekten? Ama geçen sefer retoriğe verdik. Alanlaştırma. Hiçbirini istemedim şu an. Mantığa verdim gitti ya. Mantık yapalım bir tane de. Okey. Evet. O 50 dakika olmuş bölümümüz. Hemen bir sonraki bölüme diyelim. Görüşmek üzere.